Hello, Algebra 2 students. Today we are going to learn how to write equations of lines. There are three different forms. You already know about the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. The second form, and we use that when we know the slope m and the y-intercept b. The second form is called the point-slope form, and its equation is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And if you look at that one compared to slope-intercept form, notice y is on the left side, but now there's a y1 point to the right of it. Then you have the equal sign, and then you have m first, and then you have x, just like you do y equals mx, but then you have a minus x sub 1 with it. And those two are in parentheses because you're multiplying it by m. You will use that when you know the slope and when you know a point. That's why it's called point slope. And then the last form, or there is no other form that I want to talk about. There's a standard form, though, ax plus by equals c, but it's rarely used. The last, it could be a form, so I should have mentioned that there's two main forms we're going to talk about. But if you're not given the slope like you are for slope-intercept form or point slope, you need to first find the slope. So if you have 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, you want to find the slope first. Then you can use point slope with either point. And that's the easiest form. So first, use the slope formula to find m, and then next, use one of the two above mentioned forms. All right. We will begin with some examples. Write an equation of a line that passes through 8, -1, and is parallel, and has a slope of -1/2. So we know our point, and we know our slope. So therefore, we want to use point slope. So I'm going to write down make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to write down the equation, the formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. When I let you use the review on the test, make sure that you have these formulas. Okay, so our point is 8. I'll write it over here. And our slope, denoted by m, is -1/2. Okay, I'm going to make a pointer. This -1/2 means one of the numbers is negative, but not both. So either 1 is negative or 2 is negative. And I always just make the top number negative. Okay, now we're going to plug these numbers in. So what I would do again is put the minus sign that's already in the formula. Oops. And you're only going to replace those spots, and I'll just use that in a different color. Well, first of all, I'm going to label the points. So this is x1, y1. That's what I mean by x1, y1. So you're going to replace the y1 point next to the y. So you're going to put -1 here. And then right here next to the x, you're going to put 8. Now, are you done? You are not done unless you clean up the equation. So you don't leave it as y minus -1. That becomes y plus 1 equals, I forgot one more thing. Forgot to put my slope in. So the slope belongs right here. There we go. So y plus 1 equals, and we just multiply out, actually, we're going to leave it like that. So we are going to leave it as -1/2 times x minus 8. And this is totally fine if I don't specify what form I want it in. So if I just say write an equation of a line, but I don't say what form, that is okay. However, if I do say what form, we are going to multiply out the right side. So we have y plus 1 equals, use the distributive property, -1/2 times x is -1/2 x, and negative times negative is a positive. So positive, that would be 8 over 2 because you're multiplying straight across. That's y plus 1 equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Subtract 1 on both sides. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. And this is in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. This is point slope. And notice I didn't say which one. So you want to do what's quickest and is still accurate. Okay, example 2. Write an equation of a line that passes through negative 2, 1 and is A parallel to and B perpendicular to the line y equals negative 3x plus 1. And remember, a key feature here is we know the point. So we have to know the point, and we're going to know the slope because we have the given line. So parallel means same slope. I'm having issues here. Okay. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal slopes. And we learned that in a previous section. Opposite in sign, flipping the fraction. And here's the given line. Y equals negative 3x plus 1. So let's do parallel first. So for parallel, we're going to use our given line. We're going to use our point. And so I will write it right here. And notice the slope of this given line is the number in front of x. So the slope is negative 3. The parallel line will have the same slope, so I'm going to leave that as negative 3. And now we are going to use, we have the point and we have the slope, so we can use point slope, but I want to show you that we can use slope-intercept form as well, because this given line is in slope-intercept form. So write y equals mx plus b. We are going to replace y with the y coordinate. So remember, that's y, this is x. So 1 equals, and we're going to replace m with negative 3, x with negative 2, and we're going to have plus b. That's 1 equals, negative times a negative is a positive. Please don't add those numbers. Now we subtract 6 because we want b by itself. Well, what do we do with this? I mean, we have m, we have b. Well, what you do is you put them together. So you put this value and this value in y equals mx plus b form. So y equals m first times x minus 5. All right, so for the second one, we are going to write an equation of a line that's perpendicular to the given line. So perpendicular means opposite reciprocals. And right over here, perpendicular. So we're going to use the same equation, the given line, because we want to write an equation of a line perpendicular to that one. We are going to use the same point, negative 2, 1, but this time the opposite reciprocal slope of negative 3 over 1 is positive 1 over 3, because it's opposite in sign and you're flipping your numerator and denominator. Remember, this negative 3 slope is just negative 3 over 1. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. Again, this is x, this is y, and we are just going to plug in those numbers. So 1 equals, at this time we're going to use 1/3 for m, and x remember is 3, so, or I'm sorry, negative 3, so you can just write it as negative 3 over 1 plus b. And that would be 1 equals negative 3 over 3 plus b. So 1 equals negative 1 plus b. Add 1 to both sides. Now you're going to put these two together. And y equals slope, which is 1/3, times x plus b. There we go. You know what? I did something wrong there. I just realized that, so I'm going to erase that. And go back and erase all this. And then I can tell you what I did wrong. And hopefully you guys can erase that too. Sorry about that. So we do want to do our notes in pencil. So your slope is, your y is 1. My m is 1/3. But my x was -2. I don't know why I put -3 there. I have no idea. So, so my x is -2, so that's -2 over 1 plus b. All right, so that's 1 equals -2/3 plus b. And I want to replace, or I want to add 2/3 to both sides. So 1 plus 2/3 is 1 2/3. We don't write, we don't leave b as a mixed number. So that is the same thing as 5 over 3. 5, there we go. Now we're going to put this together with that. So y equals mx plus b. And there you have it. Okay, the next one, write an equation of the line that passes through -820 and -615. So for this particular one, we don't know the slope, so that's the first thing we need to find. So we need to find the slope. So we are going to use the slope formula. So m equals, hopefully you remember this from a previous lesson, the minus sign in the middle of your formula, and you're going to label your points first. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And you're going to put those numbers, y on top, so y2 is 15 minus y1 over x2, which is -6, x1, which is -8. That's -5 over -6 plus 8. That's -5 over 2. And again, do not change that to a mixed number. Leave it as a fraction. Step 2, we're going to choose one of the points. So you have 2 points to choose from. You can choose this one, or you can choose this one. And I like to choose the smaller of the numbers, or the ones that are positive, but it doesn't matter which you choose. So I'm going to choose -615. And then I'm going to use point slope because I know my point and I know my slope. So y minus the y you know equals m times x minus the x that you know. All right, so what is the y that you know? The y that you chose is 15, and the x that you chose is -6, and the slope is -5 over 2. Do I leave it like that? No, I clean it up. Y minus 15 equals -5 halves times x plus 6. But don't go do any more additional work by solving for y equals mx plus b, because it's not asking you to. So we just leave it like that. If you had chosen the other point, this is what you would have gotten. Y minus 20 equals -5 halves x plus 8. They're the same answer. If you work them out and solve for, put it in slope intercept form, you're going to get the same answer. So you don't have to do additional work when it says write an equation. It doesn't say write both equations. Okay, last problem. In a chemistry experiment, you record the temperature of a compound to be -5 degrees Fahrenheit 1 minute after you begin the experiment. 6 minutes after you begin, the temperature is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Write a linear equation that models the temperature of the compound in relation to the elapsed time. So after 1 minute, the temperature is -5 degrees Fahrenheit. After 6 minutes, the temperature is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So writing that as an ordered pair, that's 1, -5, and 6, 20. And we do this problem, the same problem as above, because we don't know the slope. So the first thing we're going to do is label. Next thing we're going to do is find the slope. Put in my minus sign, part of my formula. See, the more you do this stuff, it becomes habit. That's why it's a habit for me. Of course, I've been doing it for a long time too. So 20, yeah, I say habit, and then I put the numbers in the wrong spot. So this should be a -5. Let me just erase that. Okay, so y2 is 20, y1 is -5, x2 is 6, x1 is 1. That's 20 plus 5 over 5. It's 25 divided by 5. M equals 5. Put a star by it because it's an important piece of information. We're going to choose a point. So choose, which point would I choose? Well, it's a no-brainer. I would choose 620. Even though the numbers are bigger, they're both positive. So that's what I would choose. So now that we've chosen that, we are going to use point slope. So y minus the y you know times x, or times y minus the y you know equals m times x minus the x we know. And let's label our point. So x1, y1. When we choose one of the points, what we labeled right here as x2, y2, we don't have to just use that. We don't have to relabel it x2, y2. So y minus 20 equals, why I put the letter m there. There we go, because we need to put in a number there. And m was 5, that's why I put a star by there. And x is 6. And that's beautiful. You don't have to clean it up any. So your answer is y minus 20 equals 5 times x minus 6. However, let's go ahead and multiply this one out. So if we were to multiply it out, we would have y minus 20 equals 5x minus 30, because we're distributing the 5. Add 20. Never add 20 first, because you have to distribute first. Students do not think they could just add 20 and put it underneath the -6. No. Y equals 5x minus 10. These are the exact same answers. One is just multiplied out further. And hopefully you notice that the bottom answer is in slope-intercept form, and this is in point-slope form. So you can go back and forth from one form to the other. So this actually, you go from one form to the other really easily by just distributing. And so here, y is temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. And this is for if you had to explain to someone what the variables meant. X is the time in minutes. And those are your notes for 2.4. Have a great day, Algebra 2 students.